All right, it looks like we're live. I just saw a question from Stray Dog at Play. Wonder what Monaco 64 shot today playing golf. As you probably know, I've had a bad cold and I still have a little bit of it, but I'm almost back to normal. So I decided not to play to rest up. So unfortunately, I didn't play golf. I actually haven't played since last Sunday because I didn't feel very well. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, hi Pablo, hi Alan Zibelman, Neil Hahn, Jose Miguel, Ricois, bonjour de Montreal, Connor Monnery. Yeah, Billy's going to be having his, I think it's going to be on Tuesday. He's going to have his grooming day he has it every 8 weeks. He's getting a bit fluffy. Melissa Bush, love your channel, going to mow on the zero turn and listen. All right. John Smith, evening, Mary. Hope you're well. How do you store silver coins? Yeah, I use, like you said, capsules, or I keep them in boxes and stuff. I mean, it's only the coins that are very rare numismatic coins that I have. Sometimes I have plastic, but or I keep them. Sometimes I bought Britannias from the Royal Mint or from dealers. I keep them in the package. Don't take them out. Siddharth Srikamal, Great Reset is not inevitable. The people will soon wake up. Banana Republic is out in the open, exposed. Thank you for the super chat. The Watcher says, good evening, Super Mario, and the Billster, Super Mario. Yeah, that term has been used quite a bit. Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong. Connor Moore says, Billy is a beautiful dog. Yeah, I feel sorry for him lately because his vision is not great. It's not going to get better, barring an operation. And the vet said that it's not worth it at his age. So I just have to make sure he's all right. The vet told us not to move the furniture around. That's one of the things. Jim Arcadipan from Westchester County, New York. Hi, Jim. Is eBay gold 1 ounce coins risky? You need to check if the seller has a track record. The more transactions and closer to 100%, the better. But I would probably stick to a reputable bullion dealer if you can. Steve Goodman from Kent. Yeah, I am getting better. I sound a lot better. I'm a lot better. I should be better in a day or two, 100%, hopefully. Dave Martin says, just ordered my first gold and silver. Thank you for the discount code. Why is there VAT on silver? There used to be VAT on gold as well up until 1999. And they did away with that because some of the dealers in the UK were claiming VAT for the gold that they sold, but they're actually bringing it from Belgium, which had no VAT. So they scrapped the gold VAT. They've kept it on silver because it was not worth for the dealers to do that with silver because the nominal value of silver is so low. But unfortunately, I wouldn't worry about the VAT though. I started buying silver in '03, and I was concerned about the VAT, but it didn't stop me from buying, and it's not going to stop me from buying now because I think it will be more than rewarded for holding silver, and not in terms of yeah, also in terms of fiat price, but in terms of what you'll be able to exchange for, in my opinion. I'll try to see, let's see who's here. Rennie Vision, give Billy some CBD oil. Well, he's all right. I do his eyes. We have stuff for his eyes I do it every day, twice a day. You know, he's fine. It's just that once Shih Tzus are known for their vision not being great when they get older. So let's see. The title of the live stream today is, Are the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution Inevitable? And hopefully it's not. That's my hope, that this is not inevitable, because the fourth industrial revolution, that's the globalist dream of a digital world where they're in charge and we all under their thumb. They've got control. They use the excuse, of course, that they're going to build everything better and that we need to save the environment. So everything needs to be tracked and traced, including us. And one of the reasons I'm talking about that is because, of course, we've been talking so much in the last few months, or couple of months, especially in the last month, about the global supply chain, how everything is failing. And I watched yesterday, actually I started watching it yesterday, and I couldn't finish it because it went on for a long time. But I watched a live stream from Days of Noah YouTube channel, and it went on for almost 3 hours. and it's called Things Are Getting Weird. And I highly recommend this YouTube channel. I've been subscribed to Days of Noah for a long time, but he made some really great points. I think if you want to understand what's going on in terms of the title of this live stream, that would be good. I'm going to talk a bit more about that, of course. Let's see, Connor Monterey, great video this morning. Mario and Elijah K. Johnson of Miles Franklin. Yeah. He interviewed me late last week. He published it yesterday on their channel, and then I published it today. Alaric Mirgast Skål from Norway. That's cheers from Norway. I think I understand a little bit Norwegian. Skål means cheers, and fra, I guess, from Norway. Thank you, Alaric. Random Nonsense says, hello, Mario. So yeah, I highly recommend that live stream that I put here, the link. He talks about the fact that the global supply chain, and let me, the other thing I wanted to show you guys, and I'm going to share this because I didn't realize this, but let me show you here. Where is it? This was last year, March 2nd. This is my blog, Maneko64.net. I write on this blog once in a while, not very, I don't write like as much as I do my reports on YouTube or my videos, but I was writing about the global supply chain back in March of last year, March 2nd, even before the lockdowns. And I said, and I'm not going to use the word here, could seriously disrupt the global supply chain. So this is what I said in my, basically, I'm going to put a link to this video as well in the description of this live stream. I only got 5,000 views on this on this video. It looked like YouTube didn't want to, like, they shadow banned it. But now I kind of realized that maybe I was way early in in figuring out what they really wanted to do. So I said, in this report, I look at how the outbreak of coronavirus could affect the global supply chain for companies, not only in China, but all around the world. I will look at the just-in-time inventory system and what a supply chain disruption could mean for businesses all around the world. One of the side effects of a disruption of the global supply chains and JIT could be a shortage of goods, closing down of productions as important components and parts disappear. A supply shortage could, of course, lead to higher prices and could also drive smaller companies into financial trouble as their revenues dwindle. So I'm going to put a link to this. Well, actually, you guys I can actually put the link to this story here let's put it here. And then I attached that video anyway on my blog. But what's his, I was going to say, what's his name? I don't know his name, but the channel is Days of Noah. He was saying that part of the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution is turning the economy into a circular economy. And the supply chain for a circular economy is completely different than a supply chain of a linear economy, which is what we've had up until last year when the crisis started. So what is the best way to do away with the old supply chain? Well, you disrupt it, you destroy it, so you can build back better, right? So I think there is a possibility that they're using this, they're doing this on purpose. And a lot of people actually believe that. So there you go. Hoodoo Silver says, good evening from British Columbia, Canada. Yeah, echo, I was way early there. That's true. You know, and I don't espouse to be a prophet or a forecaster, or I just try to see what's going on in the world. I perceive things, and what has helped me as well is reading about history and what happened before and what could happen now. Of course, things don't happen the same way. So I don't get everything right, but I just try to study the world, study human action, like von Mises used to say. Let's go, Brandon. Bob Yorn says. Actually, I received a Let's Go Brandon t-shirt yesterday. I bought a Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. Does that mean I'm pro any political party or person? No, I just like the message that was covered up by Let's Go Brandon episode. Oh, look at Billy. He's stretching. There you go. For those of you who think Billy is dead and doesn't move, there you go. I think he's just trying to get a bit more comfortable. All right. SC says Bitcoin was created to absorb speculative money that would otherwise go into precious metal sector to prop up financial system a bit longer. You could be right. Bob Bjorn says Norway, do not buy Chinese EVs, calling from China, from Canada. Belfast Stacker, can you please inform us, possibly with the video, about QFS. No, I can't, because I'm not interested in this quantum financial system. A lot of people have asked me about it. I don't know anything about it, and I think it's yeah, I've looked at it and it just looks a bit dodgy to me. So I can't really do a video about it if it's not something. I think the most important thing is not systems right now for us who are trying to, because I think trying to stop the globalists with their Great Reset, with their fourth industrial revolution, is by saying no and having our own, being our own central bankers, having gold and silver stacked, trying to be outside their system as much as possible. So whenever someone brings up a system, a QFS or anything else, I'm a bit skeptical about it. I believe more in organic interaction between human beings. And yeah, maybe there will be a system eventually, but yeah, I don't want to go from a horrible system that we have now into another system set up by a few people. I want to be into a system, voluntary system. And I think gold and silver or anything else that you can use to indirectly exchange things is, for me, what it's all about. No rush. I'm in Quincy, Massachusetts. I'm 57 on Social Security. I bought silver with my stimulus. Also, I just got 4 10-ounce bars at my local shop for 1,044. Okay, 10 silver ounces for 1,044. That seems a lot. That seems a lot for 10-ounce bars. Oh, I guess it must have gotten more than one 10-ounce bar. Echo, Echo, when you buy silver, do you have much success with not paying VAT? No, there's no avoiding not paying VAT. I guess there are other ways of, if you buy pre-1920 coins of the realm, which are sterling silver, they're usually, you don't pay VAT, but that's embedded in it. I don't think there's a way to avoid it, but you know, I've told people many times, when I bought my first silver bar in 2003, I think the price was about $3.20 per ounce, £3.20. And I think with the VAT was like $3.70. And where is it now to buy? It's like in the 20s. So eventually that 20%, yeah, it's annoying to have to pay that, but that's what it is. That's the price that it is. I think people are doing the wrong thing, not buying silver in the UK just because of the VAT. That's the way it is. I don't think the price would drop much if they took VAT out of silver. The other thing that Days of Noah said that is quite interesting with what's going on with these mandates, right? And I'm going to try to be very economical with the words. We don't want to get censored. Yeah, with these mandates, we saw Southwestern Airlines, they had their problems. We're seeing that the Chicago police, up to 50% of them don't want to follow the mandates, which is a good thing. It means people are standing up. I saw that in Italy, there's a lot of protests out there against what they call the Green Pass. They call it No Green Pass movement in Italy. You know, there's strikes and people are standing up for it. But what he says, this could be a really clever ploy by the globalists, because it will accelerate the collapse of the economies. It will accelerate the collapse of the global supply chains. And even though that's what they want, they'll have a cover and say it wasn't us who did it. It was you guys who were against this thing, right? Or you were against passports and everything. It was you selfish people. So that's another thing that we need to think about. But be as it may, I think we have to be aware of that. And how can we protect ourselves? Well, hopefully you've been living within your means. You have some savings. You've been able to stack a bit if you can. Yeah, maybe buy a few extra things that you use all the time when you go shopping. And I don't know. And hope for the best. Hope that they don't succeed with these plans as well. Il Prepper says Chicago police, world news, good thing. I'm not sure if it's world news. The reason why I know about it is because I listen to channels on YouTube and like Zero Hedge, for example, but in the mainstream newspapers here in the UK, there's nothing about what's happening in Italy. There's nothing about what's really happened at Southwestern Airlines. I heard as well that Delta Airlines is doing away with the mandates. So there you go. But it's not being divulged in the mainstream here. All they've been talking about here is about some guy who was stabbed to death a few days ago. They're making a big deal out of that. And I'm not playing down the fact that someone was murdered, but there's about 300 stabbings. 300 people a year die of stabbings in this country. So why should we focus so much on just one person? Anyway. SW, buy two of everything when you go shopping. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Good point. Yeah, Stephen Hamer or Hamer, I think you pronounce it like that. 4.2 million quit their jobs. That was just in August. Will be interesting to see how many people in September did it. Married, there's no VAT in pre-47 silver. Yeah, I know. And also pre-1920, which is, that's Andrew Watson, which is 925 silver. But what I'm trying to say is that if you buy it, for example, on eBay, some people sell it in bulk. If you do the calculation, it usually gets bid up to where the ounce of silver is trading with the VAT. So, but you might get lucky and get a better deal. I have quite a bit of the junk UK silver. I prefer pre-1920 because 1920 to 1946 is 50% silver. There is silver in there, but it's more bulky and the coins are not as nice. Someone just said, let's go, Billy. Good man, way too much flatulence going on. Yeah, I don't know who good man is, if he's trying to be cute or not. Might have to Neil Moy, I've been taking your advice on buying as much silver as I can get with credit cards. That's not, I've never advised anyone to buy anything on credit, and I don't advise people anything on this channel. I just give my opinion, but I wouldn't borrow to buy. I try to borrow, not to borrow, to buy anything, let alone silver and gold. So do you think this is a good way to finance it? No, I don't, Neil Moy, but good luck with it. So there you go. Gur Oldry, thank you for your super chat. 4 years ago, people called me a nut. Now the same people are asking me for advice for prepping. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and I see some people commenting a lot of times on my videos saying, "Oh, you've never been right," or not that I want to prove anything, but I would I've been trying to tell people that the current monetary system isn't sustainable, and that something's going to have to happen for the last 5, 6 years, and I think the powers that be know that. And they've used this crisis that we've had since last year as a cover for it, and they're bringing the system down, I think now, and yeah, they're purposefully bringing it down because all the big companies involved in shipping and all the global supply chain, they're big corporations. They're going to be rewarded and they're going to be kept alive, but they want to bring down the small mom and pop businesses all around the world. And of course, I hope it doesn't work out. And I think the only way it won't work is for people like you and me to hold the line and to boycott. Just try to help small businesses, try to not do businesses with the big corporations. I know it's hard because right now we're using Google here and dealing with YouTube, but yeah, that's all I can say. What else have we got? Hey, Mario, how many years did they prepare for this great reset? Excuse me. I think they've been preparing for decades, if not over a century. These people have very long-term plans. Yeah, they've been preparing for a long time. The World Economic Forum started as the European Management Forum back in the early 70s. So yeah, Bilderberg started in the 50s. I think all these people are involved. The UN was part of this as well. The Rockefellers funded the UN. And before that, they tried to get the League of Nations. They didn't succeed. They've been preparing for the Great Reset for decades. Helsinki, if and when we go to digital currency, how would silver integrate in that scenario for trade and anonymity? Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to a digital currency myself. I'm going to try to avoid using their CBDC, and I don't think it's going to come anytime soon. But it would be, I don't know how silver would be integrated, but anonymity is going to be very hard to have in the CBDC system. But the way I look at silver and gold, they're just there as money and currency, ways to store value. Who knows? We could see cryptocurrencies develop that could tokenize gold and silver. I guess that wouldn't be decentralized because you have to store the coin somewhere. So immediately that becomes centralized. But I don't know. I don't know. As I've said, I said in my interview with Elijah K. Johnson the other day that I try not to worry too much about the digital currencies, about CBDCs, and what's going to happen. I just try to stick to being my own central banker, stacking physical gold and silver. And I did my Mike and Mario show which I posted yesterday, and we talked a lot about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And some people thought that I was trying to slack Bitcoin, but I was just trying to say that I think some of the people in the Bitcoin world, crypto world, are getting a little bit, they're like gloating too much, and I think they need to be careful, because I think gold and silver are still great places to be. Doesn't mean to say that I'm not involved still in cryptocurrencies. The general idea of Bitcoin is interesting, and also decentralization. The problem I have is that uh, when I started looking at Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in 2012, the whole idea was that this was a new system outside the corrupt Wall Street central banking system, that it would replace this corrupt fiat currency system. But now, I think the crypto space is being bought by Wall Street, and yeah, especially with the fact that people in the crypto space think that it's good to be regulated by the people who run the banks, because the CFTC and the SEC, they work for the banks and Wall Street, and that it's good to have derivatives that you can bet on Bitcoin with hundreds of billions of dollars of Wall Street money, and actually have no Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. I think that's a bad thing, and it defeats the purpose of being outside the system. But holding a few silver coins, I'll never be subject to the whims of Wall Street or the bankers. It's in my hand. So there you go. But I still think cryptos could do well up until the end of the year. But just be careful. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as the saying goes. What else have we got here that I wanted to talk to you guys about? Oh, here you go. Just to show you, because Days of Noah, when he was talking about this circular economy, he spoke about this organization is called PACE, Platform for Accelerating the Circular Economy. And the circular economy is one in which everything, there's no waste, it's all renewable, and they have to keep track of everything, of all the production and goods, but they also want to keep track of us. And that's the big problem. But if you scroll down here at the partners, so the knowledge partners, you've got people like Chatham House, which is the UK version of the CFR, is the Royal Institute for International Affairs. You've got the World Economic Forum, and you've got all the big corporations. And if you go down further, you've got loads of governments behind it as well. You've got big corporations, Suez, that's a big financial institution in France. And now that's a big Italian corporation, Dell. You've got Veolia, you've got IKEA. And then if you go further down, supported by World Economic Forum again, UK government here, Dutch government, Royal Dutch Shell, Unilever, Canada government, Philips. So yes, these people are trying really hard to bring this system. And I think this is all part of it, this global supply chain problem. Mills Lane, thank you for your super chat. 60% of mine is precious metals. Okay, good. Midnight Green, good evening, Mario. This information is extremely helpful to all It's a pleasure to view you live. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your kind words. Neil Hahn says, buy silver and platinum. Lily Robin uses eBay to buy silver. I buy some silver coins on eBay. I have bought last year. I bought a few. They're more numismatic than just junk silver. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this as well. I saw this came out Friday night, actually, like Friday night UK time, and let me share this. And it just goes to show who really is in charge, uh, not only in the US, but all around the world. So it says Prime Minister invites world's top business leaders to Downing Street. They might as well have said they invite the top financiers, the bankers. So Bill Gates and Jamie Dimon among 20 executives expected to attend Michelin star dinner at number 10 in bid to establish global Britain. I think this is just, it's not really true what they say there. Just, well, this is just for public consumption. They say that it's to establish global Britain, but I think it's more like the people who are running the world who are coming here to tell us what we need to do. And it's just shocking that, and outrageous with all the food prices going up, people having a tough time getting any food, and people will probably, all the food banks that we have, they're using our money to serve a Michelin star dinner for these people. They should be paying, not us. But it says Boris Johnson is to host an intimate dinner with some of the world's most powerful executives, including Bill Gates. Well, that's part of the World Economic Forum, right? The Great Reset, Bill Gates, JP Morgan boss, Jamie Dimon. But there's some other guys here. So we've also got Stephen Schwartzman from private equity firm Blackstone, Barclays Bank chief, Santander Bank chairman, Larry Fink, BlackRock. Well, he had to be there. Goldman Sachs boss David Solomon. It's interesting that there's no one from the UK, no, well, except for the Barclays chief, but I actually think he's American. So they're coming here, but probably tell us what to do, what's going to happen with the collapse, and then they're going to be taken to have drinks with the Queen a day later at her Windsor Castle. So there you go. Yeah, and they tell us a number of deals are expected to be announced at the Investor Summit, emphasis on backing green technologies, including UK's development of electric vehicle battery production. So all this infrastructure knew that they wanted this green thing, green world, or, the US infrastructure bill. That's all to do, I think, with this Build Back Better. And it's all, and what they're doing now to the old supply chain is completely destroying it. And that's what they're doing right now. So they can come in and bring another kind of world. That's what they're trying to do. Will they succeed? I'm not sure. Because I don't think they expected prices to start rising so much and inflation to be rising so much, or CPI. And I think that hopefully will disrupt their their plans. Who knows? A collapse of the fiat currencies, that could be a good thing, because I think there were two, maybe they miscalculated that. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's very interesting times, though. HZJ79, thank you for your super chat. Your health, Mario. Thank you very much. Yes, blast from the past. It is fascism, or it's now called public-private partnership, right? That's the euphemism for it. Jim Marshall, anyone fancy a cup of tea? I think I guess you mean that's what the Queen is going to ask the Wall Street guys when they come to visit her. Gianfranco Bergagna, collapse of natural gas soon. You mean the price? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. You see, it could correct quite a bit, but eventually will go back up. We're seeing lumber go back up now. We're almost back up to, we've seen it rebound quite sharply in the last few weeks, about 30 to 50%. Blast from the past, do you see PPI as a better indicator of the economy than CPI? Well, the PPI is the producer price index, is the wholesale price. None of those are really great indicators because they're government statistics. I guess the CPI will get even worse if I think the PPI leads to CPI. But there's another thing that's interesting about prices, and why I think, and also Rafi Faber and some other analysts think it's going to rise even more and even quicker, and that we haven't seen the last of the price rises, especially for consumer goods, is that the U.S. system economy is based on a few big corporations, and they've been able to keep a lot of the costs down. They haven't passed through a lot of the price increases, but now it's getting almost impossible. And they think that it could happen very suddenly. So we could see an even bigger increase in consumer prices. And I think Rafi spoke about it in his latest weekend report. And I recommend people to subscribe to Rafi's newsletter. I mean, if you're into trading, but also into economics. He spoke about this, and I'm going to put a link, not to his newsletter, of course, but this is what he talks about here, about inflation, that Dan Oliver talks about. Where is it? Oh, there we go. So this is what he says. If primary input costs, which I guess, the PPI, are increasing 50% or 100 or more, if labor costs are soaring, if just-in-time inventory management is broken, if distribution networks are snarled, if shortages persist, large companies will sooner or later have no choice but to break and reset prices suddenly higher, much higher, just to cover their costs. Then they will raise prices further to anticipate future cost increases. CPI will suddenly start rising faster than the money supply, just as in the 1970s. And he says here, this is Rafi now saying, his point is that last paragraph, his point in the last paragraph is to say that enormous corporations, which now control much of the food supply, are putting off price increases as long as possible until they no longer have a choice. At some point soon, they're going to have to. And when the first one makes a move, it's going to be a tsunami. We are only in the beginning stages of rising prices. It's going to accelerate. When exactly the tsunami part hits, nobody can say, but it's coming. So that's not really encouraging. And I'm going to also give you a link for the Dan Oliver article, because his stuff is for free. So I can give you the link. Here it is, where he talks about that. I had Dan Oliver once on the channel. It was, I think, late 2019 or early 2020. And then I tried to get him back on, and he was trying to, oh, I think Billy wants to jump off. There you go. Come on, Billy, you can do it. Come on. He's a bit scared of jumping off because he can't see very well. But yeah. Oh, there you go. He's jumped off. Yeah, so I try to get Dan Oliver again. I'm going to try to get him again. But when I contacted him last year, he was almost about to leave New York City to go out in the country when everything kicked off. But I highly recommend you read this here, Murmican, his latest article. Eddie Darmody says, Rafi says silver will buy food when fiat collapses. Yeah. Over here says, remember a few years back, the Queen of England said, this may be our last Christmas, perhaps. She was giving us a warning, and it was meant for this Christmas 2021. I think I remember something like that. Yeah. Even though I don't really, my mother-in-law likes to listen to the Christmas message, but yeah, I haven't listened to that, but you could be right. Yeah, Billy did move. He jumped off. Melissa Bush says, buy John Ellis water for Billy. I'm going to write that down. I don't know if we have that here in the UK, but I'll write it down. John. 2 drops. Okay. Yeah, Lily Robin. Billy is kind of like that. He's got dry eye. He had an eye ulcer in one of his eyes last year. That wasn't very good. He likes eating, he likes sleeping, but I take him out every day for a good walk. He doesn't mind that. He likes his walk. Over here, do you brush Billy's teeth? No, we give him like dentist sticks. You know, the stick for his, and he's got very good teeth, but no, I don't brush his teeth. And he sleeps on the floor, on the carpet. So Danny Dan says Fauci hasn't approved Christmas yet. JM, I haven't talked about the precious metals price action. You know, it was a little bit disappointing what happened to gold on Friday, because it had done so well on Wednesday after they smashed it down after the CPI number. But I'm not concerned about the fiat price of gold or silver. Not at all. It is frustrating. to see that kind of action. But I think things are so crazy and weird in the world that it doesn't concern me really. Unless, of course, I had a huge emergency and I had to exchange some of my real money for fiat currency, then I'd be a bit annoyed, but I don't have to. Mr. B says, be your own bank. Let's see here. The thing is, well, someone said here, we have a front row seat. Yeah, and there's the old saying about ignorance being bliss, that you have no worries. And, you know, people like us know what's going on. But I think I'm happier to know what's going on than not, so that I can be prepared. And I hopefully it's the same for you guys. LGX2, do you see a point where you would sell your precious metals for fiat? No, as I said, only if I had an emergency and needed to extra fiat. But one day, hopefully, I can exchange it for an asset that's very undervalued, like let's say real estate. I could do that eventually, so that I could have earn some income from maybe renting a property. But let's say if gold went up to $2,500, or let's say 1,600 pounds in the next month, no, I wouldn't sell any, if only if I needed it. But no, I wouldn't sell it, because it's like savings. You know, it's like asking someone if they have, because people nowadays, when they think of savings, they think of stock, their stock portfolio or bond portfolio. But I look at savings in the old-fashioned way, which is real money. So if you have money saved, or people had maybe in the 19th century, early 20th century, if they had money saved, it used to be gold and silver, and they only used it when they had an emergency, or if they wanted to maybe invest in themselves or buy a property. If they're getting older, they need some extra income. That's how I would do it. But I think fiat currencies are on their way out. So there's no really upside to getting out of gold and silver, in my opinion. Some people might think that's I'll get a lot of stick from, I get people commenting always, oh, you've been wrong about gold and silver, even though we've seen that since I started my channel, gold has gone from 1,045 to over 2,000 last year, and silver has gone from 11 last year to 30. So over the long term, I can't forecast what prices will be, but what I can forecast is that gold and silver are going to hold their purchasing power, and fiat currencies aren't. Yeah, Lily Robin. Some people don't know about the "Let's Go Brandon" meme, so to speak. So the story was that there's a young NASCAR, I think it was NASCAR car racer. He won a race, and he was being interviewed by an NBC reporter, and after his victory, and the crowd were chanting "F Joe Biden," and NBC didn't cut like the chanting, and the reporter said, "Oh, can you see how they're like chanting? They're saying 'Let's go, Brandon,' even though we could very clearly hear that they were saying F Joe Biden." So when you say "Let's go, Brandon," it means F Joe Biden. And I think that was a great way to to put it. Mr. Ashford says Queen has lots of gold cast away the Germans had minted during World War II. Well, you know, the Bank of England did a lot of business. They let the Germans. I've done a video about this, and it's in the book, The Tower of Basel, which I've recommended. The Tower of Basel by Adam Libor. So yeah, this book is all about the BIS. And in 1938, before the war started, the Germans invaded Czechoslovakia. Used to be one country, now it's Czech and Slovakia, but it was one country. And the first thing they did is they took all the gold from the central bank in Prague. The central bank had sent some of their gold to London in the BIS account, and they also had some gold at the Bank of England, but under the Czechoslovak central bank account. So there's two accounts, the BIS account in London, and the Germans at the BIS demanded that the Bank of England send the Czechoslovak gold from the BIS account to the German account. And the Bank of England did, even though it was done at the barrel of a gun, right? The Germans invaded Prague and took the gold, and then under duress, the officials from the Czechoslovak central bank had to contact the BIS and tell them to send the Czechoslovak gold at the Bank of England to the German account, and the Bank of England did it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's still a lot of Nazi gold at the Bank of England with swastikas on it. Over here, Mario, people are less skeptic of gloom and doom. Now reality sometimes sucks. Yeah. A lot of let's go, Brandon. Benoit Guillou, I've heard during Weimar Republic, the government purposefully manipulated the gold price to deter citizens to seek safety. Are there graphs of this historical price swings? Yeah, I have shown those graphs before. Let me see if I can find it here. Eventually, though, the price of gold went into the trillions of marks. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can find it. Chart. Here we go. Okay, where is it? Gold mark. Okay, so yeah, I think I've shown this before recently in one of the live streams. So here we go. Value of one gold mark and paper marks. So I guess that would be because I guess the gold mark was still a gold mark under the rules. It was legal tender. The face value was 1 mark, but it was worth a lot more. It's a little bit like the gold sovereign. You could call it a gold sterling. The nominal amount is £1, but it costs 330 to buy or so. So let's say you bought some gold here, right? Or you bought some gold here up until the beginning of 1920. You see, after World War I, gold started going up. the value of the gold marks started going up in paper marks, and it went up to, like, let's say 50, I would say. This is a log chart. And then it dropped almost back to 10. And then it went up, came down. So, it wasn't until really 1922, which was basically the last 18 months of the hyperinflation, that gold started to really move up. And it only broke 100, towards the end of 1922. But look where it went. By the end of 1923, it went to a billion marks. So from 100 to a billion. So if you got out here and thought about getting back here because it broke the old high, and then it came down and you said, oh, I'm going to get out now, you'd be kicking yourself. Yeah, because you'd be holding worthless German Reichsmarks, right? So yeah, they probably did manipulate it a little bit, but that's the way markets work as well sometimes. Dilwyn Roberts, no more golf will be used to grow food. The golf courses, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, high kick EXP. Within just weeks, it goes up 100 and then 100 again. Yeah, I mean, of course, there are other things that we need when there is a collapse, like I think we're having, and the hyperinflation. We need to be in a close-knit community. I know this is like a virtual community, but it's still a community. You need to be, have friends, have some kind of help people, and other people will help you. But it's nice to know that you're protected a bit financially by having a little bit of gold or silver, if possible, physical. And I never tell people to do it to make money, even though I worked in the city and I used to trade and be a broker. This is not really the purpose here of my channel. Yes, we look at the markets just for like clues and hints. But in the end of the day, it's just a financial insurance, I would say. And unlike life insurance that you only get paid after you die, or your spouse gets paid after you die, with gold and silver insurance, you can cash it in anytime you want, especially after a collapse. Echo, do you suppose it is possible that gold isn't rising now alongside of the commodities, perhaps because gold moved first? I remember it climbed from 1400 to 1600 in the pandemic. Yeah, I think so. There's a little bit of that, because it went down to 1450 in March when everything crashed. And then gold and silver moved a lot quicker than the general commodities, and silver went to 30, gold to 20.75. And I think that was forecasting all the price rises, and which people call inflation. But gold was basically just following the Fed's balance sheet. It was following M1 and M2. And now it's just pausing, but it will go back up. Or not go, gold and silver are not going to go up. It's the fiat currencies that are going to drop. But it will happen because they're much harder to mine and produce than paper, fiat currency, or if you want to call it fake money or reserves out of thin air. Uh, Nasruddin Hakka, is China war coming? I don't know. I think the war is already here, and it's the globalists against the people. That's the war. I saw there's a story of some missile that China sent up into space or around the orbit of the Earth in August, but that's just to keep us distracted. The war is ongoing. It's been going on since last year. That's the war. And the thing about wars is that when the wars end, there's usually a collapse of the previous regime, like there was in World War One. The German Empire collapsed. You also get a collapse of the money. The losing side, their currency collapses, and even the winning side, their currencies get decimated because they've spent so much during the war. They've created so much money and credit out of thin air. And I think the same thing is happening now. We are at war. So I don't think there will be a war against China. China is they're playing the game as well. I showed you guys earlier this thing about the circular economy and this PACE platform for the circular economy. There's a lot of Chinese institutions, and the Chinese government is involved as well. So yeah, war is a racket. I highly recommend that pamphlet by Smedley Butler, War is a Racket. Yeah, John Knox, the Austro-Hungarian Empire went as well. They had hyperinflation in the Central Powers as well. Benoit Guillou, the wars have always been against the populace. Wars are agreements between kings to call their own population a fancy real-world chess play. I agree, and it's a very profitable business for the bankers and the corporations around the bankers. I think thousands of millionaires were created in the US during World War One. Tom Liu, can COMEX dump 1 trillion gold contracts like they did oil negative 37? The only reason it was WTI crude, and it was the front month, the one that you could deliver. The only reason it went negative is because there's a place in Oklahoma where they have the storage, Cushing, Oklahoma, where the WTI crude is stored. There's no place to store it. So people were trying to get rid of their contracts because they would lose more money taking delivery of the oil because they couldn't store it. So that's why it went negative. So it's got nothing to do really. It was just like a storage glitch, because if you look at the price of Brent crude, it never went negative. So it was something to do with the storage facility. And that's why it went negative. And I actually did a video with someone that I went to high school with in Brazil, and he's in the oil industry, and he told me back then, oh, it's going to go back to normal right away because this was just something to do with the storage facility. Michael Parkhurst, silver will never back the currency. Well, silver, well, hopefully not. Not hopefully not, but silver is money anyway. So who knows? You could have people. It's still part of the Constitution, silver. But the great thing would be not to have paper currency, but to have silver flowing as currency, you see. So anyway, I'll take a couple of more questions because we're going past 9 o'clock here in the UK. SW says you will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, that's part of the circular economy. And they were speaking about that even before this year. They were speaking about that already in 2011. Judy Shelton may be up after these years of nonsense. She said 10,000 ounce in 2000. And now I agree, Jim Sinclair, 60,000. All right. Okay. Okay, just one more question. Mary, do you own any of the New Britannia? Yeah, I think I bought some a few weeks ago. Let's see. Got it here. I've got 2021 Silver Britannias. Yeah, that I got some of those. Yeah. I don't know if there's a 2022 yet. Billy's bedtime. Well, Billy sleeps a lot anyway. Mr. B says the business of China is business. The business of America is war. Gerald Salente. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for showing up and for having an interest in what I say. Yeah, I wish everyone a great rest of the weekend or a great beginning of the week if you are like in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere where it's already Monday.